Sled work's becoming more and more popular in the fitness space now, and for good reason. I think you can get a lot of benefit out of it, not just your cardio. Obviously, if you've pushed a sled a lot, you realize that that's very taxing on your cardiovascular system, but also it's great for rehabilitation. It's also great for strength. So today, I'm gonna give you 4 exercises that you can do on the sled. So here at Wallace Fitness Center, we have 100 feet worth of turf. I see a lot of people using the sled, but I think they can get a little more bang for their buck. So pay attention to this video. Look, if at any point in this video you learn something, do me a favor, like the video. If you're interested in seeing content like this, don't forget to subscribe. The first exercise, this is the most obvious one, this is the one I see everybody doing, is just a standard sled push. So with a standard sled push, you wanna keep your arms straight, you wanna keep your core tight, and believe it or not, you're coming up on your toe on your front foot. Okay, this is gonna hit your quads, this is gonna hit your calves. It's actually gonna require some shoulder stability and some core stability. So people do this, number one, just for some unilateral work, some single leg work. So if you load up the sled, your muscles will be working. Number two, believe it or not, this is great for people who are coming off of a shoulder injury. So let's say you don't feel comfortable benching yet, walking with a weighted sled with your arms straight, that's a great way to activate some of the muscles up here and without really moving through a range of motion that you might not be comfortable for yet. And then also with your core active, this is great for obviously building up your core, but let's say you're somebody that is dealing with a back injury, you're working with a chiropractor here, he tells you, hey, you need to build up some core stability. This is a great way to do that as well without having to get on the floor and plank. So this will add some novelty to your program. Also, this standard sled push is great for athletes. If you're somebody that's a field athlete, you're a football player, you're a soccer player, you are required to sprint, keeping your arms straight, driving your knees up high, being up on that front toe, that's gonna translate into your start mechanics when you're actually sprinting. The second exercise you can do on the sled is actually a sled push, but it's modified so you're hitting your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit more. So in this variation, what I want you to do is your arms are bent, your front foot stays flat, and you're thinking about dragging through that heel. Okay, you'll know you're doing this right because you feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings. This is gonna have a lot of the same benefits as the original sled push, but I do believe that this is hitting your glutes and hamstrings more. So if you're somebody that wants to do some unilateral hamstring work, but let's say, you know, a single leg Romanian deadlift hurts your back, or let's say you don't want to just continue to do single leg curls again and again and again, this is a great way to hit your hamstrings individually without having to put any strain on your back, which you may get with the single leg Romanian deadlift. The third exercise, and this has become extremely popular as of late, is the sled drag. Okay, so a lot of people are sled dragging here, especially after that Joe Rogan episode with the knees over toes guy, and I think that it is fantastic. I've implemented that into my program myself, and I absolutely think that it helps. For me, some of the things that I've learned about the sled drag is number one, being in about a quarter to a 1/3 squat. I notice if I'm just standing straight up and down, I don't really feel it working in my quads, which is what I'm trying to get out of this. The second thing I notice that really makes me feel it in that lower quad down by my knees, which is why you're doing this sled drag. If you've seen that Joe Rogan episode, you know that it's great for your knees, is that I'm thinking about fully extending my leg with each step. So I'm going from toe to heel and I'm fully extending my leg. I'm straightening my leg all the way with each step. When I do that and I load it up, not super heavy, but enough that I can keep that quarter squat and really use my quads are burning, and I absolutely think that it's helped my knees. The fourth exercise we're gonna go over is something you probably haven't seen before, so if you haven't seen this, do me a favor, like the video, is the sled press. So if you're somebody that's like an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, any type of athlete that needs to press, not only that, if you're somebody that just wants to add some novelty into their chest routine, the sled press is a great way to do that. So when you sled press, you step up with one foot, take a staggered stance, activate your quads, your hips, and then you press with your arms. So this will replicate what you might call a jam press, but it doesn't require a ton of equipment. It's gonna get your chest involved while simultaneously requiring you to activate your core through that plane of motion. So the sled press is something I don't see a lot of people doing, but I do believe that it's great for athletes that have to stand up and push. I'm thinking football players, but it's also great for people to add novelty into their program. So look, do me a favor, if you learned something, like the video. If you're interested in seeing content like this, don't forget to subscribe. This channel is a more complete beast, but this video is at my gym, Wallace Fitness Center. That being said, if you're interested in fitness, if you're interested in small business, if you're interested in real estate, all three of these things are related, and I will prove it to you if you subscribe to the channel. My name is Alex Wallace. This is a more complete beast, and I will see you in the next video.